Okay, today I'm making Molasses Crinkles. They're a ginger snap type cookie, a little spice cookie, but they're softer than the traditional ginger snaps. And what I've got in the mixer is a cup and a half of shortening and 2 cups of brown sugar. This is one of the few cookies I prefer to use shortening as to the butter end. The shortening just seems to make these work better, but you can use butter if you want. We're just going to cream the shortening and the brown sugar. Okay, we've got that well creamed now. We're going to add 2 eggs. And as most of my cookie recipes are, this is a double batch, but I'll post the recipe for the single in the sidebar. So now we'll just beat in the 2 eggs. And that's pretty well mixed, and I'm going to add a half cup of molasses. Just added a teaspoon of salt. We're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger. Now these spices you can kind of adjust to what you like, but this is pretty much what we like. I use about a half a teaspoon of cloves because they're pretty strong, and we do a good 2 heaping teaspoons of cinnamon. Because we really like cinnamon. And we'll just let that mix together for a minute. And now we're going to beat in about 4 1/2 cups of flour. And depending on how much moisture is in the air and how stiff the dough is, you may have to add a little bit more. And the dough is a little too wet, so I'm going to add a little more flour. Probably about another half cup here. Now you want the dough thick enough because you're going to roll them into balls, and you don't want it to stick to you too badly. And then you roll the balls in just a little plain sugar, and you can make these whatever size you want. You tend to make them about the size of a walnut, I guess you'd call them. And they will spread a little, so don't put them too close together. And this is one you got to get your hands into. And we're going to bake them at 350. Okay, now the oven is preheated to 350, and we're going to put these in. They're going to bake for 10 to 12 minutes, which means that I will check the tray at 10 minutes and see. You just want them to start to be a little golden brown around the edges. We have a pair of geese that are spending the day with us. They're still a little leery of us, but you can tell that the migration back has begun because most every day we have at least a couple of pairs that come in. Yeah, they're a little soft yet. I think they just need about maybe a minute more. Okay. Oh yeah, they're ready. You'll notice as they get done that they start to crack. They will finish cracking as they cool. That's why they're called crinkles. And you have to remember that with any cookie, that it will continue baking on the cookie sheet for another minute or so when you take them out, so you don't want to over bake them. Let them cool on the sheet for a couple of minutes and then slide them off onto your cooling rack. Okay, and we'll slide them off here. Let them finish cooling. That bottom row was a little more done, so I wanted them off the cookie sheet a little sooner. And actually I think the rest of these have probably cooled off enough that they can slide off. You just want to make sure that they're cool enough so they don't completely crumble when you take them off. And yeah, you can probably see in the background our homemade spaghetti sauce sitting there cooling off that we made earlier.